Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Learn with Turing. My name is Jose and today we'll be sharing 5 tips that can help you to ace any code challenge. Also important tips that can help you to ace any live code challenge interview. I've been to both sides of an interview process in numerous times, and one of the most daunting tasks is for sure the coding challenge round. It's quite natural to be nervous during them, and I wouldn't blame you, right? And I wouldn't blame myself as well. I myself get quite nervous sometimes, even now. But it's something that you can get over by preparing yourself better and also practice a lot. Today I'll be sharing 5 tips with you that helped me in my career, and I'm sure that can help you too with your future code challenge. Without further ado, let's get started. The first tip for you is related to read the question. Okay, the very first thing that generally happens when an interviewer gets a code challenge, gets a question, is they just want to write the code. And once they do that, they just stop talking. And believe me, I haven't seen them write on the whiteboard straight away, and it's happened especially with freshers. When you start writing, you are committing to do something which you should delay for as late as possible. And what you should be doing when you receive a question is read it carefully and repeat it until you fully understand what that question is about. While you repeating and going through, if any doubts pops out, you can clear them with your interviewer. It also helps in keep the conversation flowing between you and the interviewer. The second tip that I would like to share with you today is related to create your own inputs and outputs. Now that you know the problem, start to write down some examples related to the output of your problem on your whiteboard. Make 2 columns, 1 column for inputs, another column for outputs, and write possible inputs and outputs with parameters. And use the error first approach to and cover all possible errors before you start to write your code. Cover the error and the edge case in the top of the function, and then once you are done, you can write your solution. It is often a great way to gain further understanding of the problem while you develop the solution in your mind, and also it tells the interviewer about the variant of approach and good program practice too. And the third thing that I would like to share with you today is related to algorithms. Okay, once you are familiarized yourself with the problem and have worked in some inputs and outputs and also cover the edge cases and the errors, the next step is to start working on writing an algorithm. Your approach to the problem will be getting clear by now to you and to the interviewer as well. And the fourth thing that I would like to share with you today is regarding to writing the code. Okay, now that you have finished your algorithm, it's time to finally write your code in the language that you prefer to write it. And don't waste time trying to solve the problem in a language that you are not 100% sure with the built-in function, how to do things with that language. Because the focus at that stage should be breaking down your code in a series of simple steps and also small parts. It helps you keep your focus on the big problem rather than get caught up in trivial details. Also, mark the thing in the code that you are not 100% sure about, or something that you think is not the best way to do that. Then it could remember that you can visit it later and try to find a better way to do that. It will tell the interviewer about your knowledge and confidence regarding your code. And once you have written it, it's time to validate your code against your inputs and outputs. Starting checking your codes through the inputs and output that you created earlier. Mark the variables and run them through the whole code. Okay, keep testing and debugging all the time. Also, test out the error case and the edge cases as well, because in this point, if there any problem in your code, the interviewer already know that. If you see that too, it will be a great sign for the interviewer. Last thing that I would like to share today is of course about optimizing your code. Now you have read the code, did examples, wrote algorithms, wrote the code, and test it against your inputs and outputs. So what's next? Last and most important is optimizations, something that differentiates you from the regular candidates. And this is really the idea of how the code will perform in large data sets, or how this algorithm that you have created will perform under different kinds of data sets, different size of data. It also shows that you are willing to, or at least you are able to think at the level of putting the code in production and about the performance of your code and what's gonna happen with the code base. And it's a great time for mention unit tests, what kind of unit tests you can do, and just let the interviewer know that this is an extra tip for you. And before we wrap it up, let's do a quick recap of our checklists. The first one is read. It's absolutely important to understand before committing yourself. Okay, generate inputs and outputs, generate examples, okay, of inputs and outputs that know that you are working towards. Write the algorithm first, and then you have a clear understanding of the approach that you're going to be taking. And also, once you write the code, try to focus on break it down in the small parts. Okay, validate your code against your inputs and outputs. Test against error scenarios, also the edge case, and lastly, try to optimize the code base to be workable at the production level. And this is it for today. Keep practice, keep working hard towards your dream career. So stay tuned for the next video. I will be back very soon with more interesting insights. If you have any queries, feel free to reach us out at support@turing.com. And till then, give us the big fat thumbs up. And if you find any value in this video, comment down below. Okay, let me know. Give me a thumbs up for this video, and I'm pretty much sure that I will see you again. Don't forget to subscribe to Turing.com and keep your learn spirit alive. And with that said, that's a wrap, and I'm pretty much sure that I will see you again. Take care.